Right now, hundreds of pieces of mail are missing from a West Seattle neighborhood after someone stole a postal service truck. This video shows the suspects breaking into the vehicle. King 5's Ted Land joins us now with more on the investigation. And Ted, the thieves may have stolen some very sensitive information, right?
Yeah, Jessica, just think of all the stuff that arrives in your mailbox. Bank statements, checks, gift cards, bills. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service says about 200 pieces of mail are missing after a brazen theft.
Surveillance video captures the moment a suspect stole a U.S. Postal Service truck Monday afternoon. It happened near the intersection of 46th Avenue Southwest and Southwest Raymond Street in West Seattle. The Postal Inspection Service, the law enforcement arm of the USPS, says the mail carrier responsible for the truck was delivering letters nearby when the suspect somehow broke into the truck and managed to start the engine.
Investigators say the suspect drove the truck a few blocks away, stole approximately 200 pieces of mail, and then fled the scene. Was the truck locked or idling when this happened?
Yes, the truck was locked and off. The keys were not in it. That's one of the policies that employees of the Postal Service have to follow. If they're leaving the vehicle, they got to lock it, and they got to take the keys with them. We believe these people may be some skilled car thieves, as they were able to get into the car pretty quickly, get in the vehicle pretty quickly, and drive away with that vehicle pretty darn quickly, within seconds of getting it.
The Postal Inspection Service recovered the stolen vehicle, but the mail is still missing. Investigators are offering up to a $1,000 reward for information that helps them track down a suspect.
And if you think your mail is missing, contact the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. They can help you out. Mail theft is a federal offense, punishable by up to 5 years of prison time and potentially thousands of dollars.